Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm from JennyCardDesigns. Thanks so much for stopping by to spend some time with me here today. My YouTube channel contains content that is intended to share paper crafting, tutorials, and inspiration with all of you. I hope that you enjoy. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some more inspiration with you for the June Gina K Designs 2020 release. This video, I'm going to be sharing a card that I made using a Gina K Designs stamp set illustrated by Lisa Hetrick, and this is the Free to Flourish stamp and die bundle. So I'm going to be creating a slimline card. I've already got my envelope and card created, and if you're interested in how I made these, I will leave a link in the description below or in the top right hand corner of the screen where you can find templates to download and create slimline cards just like this one. So we'll start with getting some of those images stamped, and I'm using Gina K Designs charcoal brown ink for this one. I thought it was more of a natural looking color, and I'm stamping my floral elements with the same charcoal brown ink. So I'm going to get a bunch of florals stamped out, and I use a few pieces of Gina K Designs Pure Luxury white cardstock, and I'm going to do some Copic coloring. I'm just going to show you a little bit of my process. I'm not going to show you all of the coloring. For this flower, I use 3 shades of Copic markers, BG 11, 13, and 15. I start with my darkest color and I outline my flower and create my shading, and then I go in with the mid-tone color and blend in those colors together and remove any of the harsh lines, and then use the lightest color to sort of create my highlights and blend everything all together. So that's how I do my coloring. It's very basic, nothing fancy. I don't claim to be an expert of any sort. This is just how I like to color, and I like the results that I get out of it. So I've gone ahead and I've done the 2 large bold flowers. I'm doing this one with a blue Copic marker, and I'm doing the exact same technique from dark to medium to light. Sometimes if I lose some of the dark shading, I come back in with the darkest marker and shade a little bit more if I feel I need it to create the depth in the flower. For some color families, I have different color markers. I don't have all Copics. I really only own about 16 Copic markers, and the rest are just a mix of Altenew and Nouveau and just kind of whatever I can find. And I think they all work well together. So I've gone ahead and used the dies to cut out all of these flowers and leaves and the little tiny baby flowers. Those are super cute and super easy to color too. So now I'm going to work on this sort of wood grain background. I use a couple of alcohol markers. I use some darker markers to create my shadows, and then a lighter color to come and blend everything together. And then I use my colorless blender just to make some highlights on that. So once I was done with the outside, I decided to turn this into a planter instead of just a sort of chalkboard or wood frame. So I took my ruler and I started drawing some lines across the panel. I wasn't too particular about the spacing. I just wanted it to look natural and authentic. So once I had all of my lines drawn, I took a darker color marker. I took a dark color brown and just sort of started sketching the lines in where I think there would be some shadow, and just trying to create an imperfect sort of palette look. So I did all of the lines, and then I came in with a dark black marker and created some sort of detail lines in the wood to make it look like wood graining, and then highlighted some of the shadows as well so that it really looked like it was planks of wood. So I colored the palettes in with the dark brown marker, starting from the edge and working my way in. I don't want to color it solid. I want to leave some space to add some different tones of brown. So I'm going to do that to my whole planter box. Then I'm going to take a lighter shade brown and I'm just going to go over everything. I'm going to color over top of the empty white space and then sort of add some streaky lines into the other wood. I'm going to go back with the black marker to recreate some of those shading lines to give some depth and dimension in between those boards. And then I'm going to use my colorless blender and sort of blend over top and create some streaky, distressed looking wood, and then that's going to be it. So once I'm happy with the way that looks, I'm going to put it up to my card panel and draw some lines. I want to create sort of some background foliage in behind my planter box. So I use the planter as a guide where I want to stamp. And I'm just going to grab a bunch of the leaves and foliage from the Free to Flourish stamp set. And I'm going to use some Gina K Designs Jelly Bean Green ink along with Key Lime ink, and I think I used fresh asparagus as well. So I'm going to stamp just a bunch of the images from the set and just creating a random look so that I can mount my florals over top of it and it won't be just all white in the background. So I'm going to take my flowers and try to figure out where I want everything positioned. And once I'm happy with my layout, I'm going to start adhering everything down. I'm going to erase some of my pencil lines so that you won't see those. And I adhere down my planter box. I pop that up on the foam tape. It gives me some room to sort of tuck leaves and flowers in behind it. And then I'll start adhering down the flowers. I use a mix of foam tape and wet glue to adhere those down. And I just sort of create this sprawled out looking flower bed. And I add in a few small leaves and some of the small flowers. And for some of them, I even trimmed down the little vines that were coming off the leaves. If I didn't like the way it looked, I trimmed them up before I glued them down. Once I was happy with the top of the box, I wanted to work on the bottom part of the card where I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I took some of the extra pieces that I had colored and started gluing down a little bit of floral arrangement in that bottom corner. And then once I was happy with all that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment using the same charcoal brown ink that we used throughout this card project. And the sentiment is from that same stamp set that says Happiness Blooms from Within. And I really like that. I thought that's really pretty. So once I'm happy with everything, I'm going to adhere this down to my Slimline card panel. And I'm going to grab a couple of gems from my stash. We're going to embellish this card with some sparkly sequins. And then that should do it. That's it for this card. Here is a close-up look at the finished card project and all of that sparkly shine. I really like the way that planter box came out. I think it looks really neat. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate all of the support. Coming up on screen are a few videos that I think you may enjoy. And you can also check out the playlist that I have for the Gina K Designs June release listed on screen as well. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!